01560600973 is the number to call. And speaking of Donald Trump, in recent weeks, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, teams have suddenly been arresting and detaining foreign-born students and academics on visas or green cards. In most cases, the government has cited their roles in pro-Palestine campus protests, but claims that they support Hamas are invoked as justification for wanting to deport them, even if they have not been charged with any crimes. Those taken include Mahmoud Khalil, who we spoke about last week, if you remember, and also Rumieska Ozturk, who is a PhD student, and her crime, in inverted commas, was to have co-written an op-ed in the student newspaper asking her university to boycott companies funding the genocide in Gaza. I mean, this is really, really terrifying authoritarian stuff. Kilmar Abrego Garcia was also sent to prison in El Salvador for being a quote-unquote gang member. This is despite him having fled to the US as basically a child, as a young person, as a result of threats from gangs back where he is from. And ever since he's arrived in the States, he's lived peacefully. He has an American wife and child. He has no criminal record. The White House are, at the time of record, still lying about this. He's been sent to El Salvador. Trump was caught on mic as well this week, appearing to suggest that they would send homegrown US citizens to a jail in El Salvador. This is it, guys. This is it. This is what fascism looks like. And if you're not scared, then you're not paying attention. And joining us to discuss this is Jon-Christopher Bua, who is a US political analyst and White House correspondent for Real Political News. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Who can fight this?
We all can fight it. There are people out in the streets fighting it. There is Senator Van Hollen from Maryland who went to El Salvador this week to fight it. There are Americans who believe in the rule of law and due process are fighting it, and the courts are fighting it. Even the Supreme Court, Natasha, is fighting it, and Donald Trump is happy to pontificate, and I was there, at the Oval Office with this Salvadorian prime minister who's kind of a kindred spirit, who he's, by the way, is paying $6 to $15 million just to house these so-called aliens. And he's enjoying it. And I heard him say, hey, what do you think? Why don't we send all American criminals to El Salvador? I mean, this is a real estate mogul. This is a guy who's done this all his life. I've known him for 60 years. He's not changed at all. He just happens to be, the MAGA people happen to put him back into the White House, which is, in my opinion, not a very good thing.
What would conditions be like for a prisoner in El Salvador?
Well, you saw that penitentiary. It is absolutely devastating. You get there, they shave your head, you're kneeling down, you put it, it looks like, I mean, I hate to bring these visions back from the 30s, but we all know what it looked like. Just recently, I mean, I think this year, we celebrated the liberation of Dachau and the Buchenwald and the concentration camps in Germany, and it was just Poland. And we're hopefully, as you alluded to, we won't be seeing it again in this country, because those who keep silent, they're going to come for you next.
And you did, I think, mention earlier this intervention by Cory Booker. So he's the guy who he did the longest speech ever. He filibustered it, and he's a bit of a national hero right now. And he's apparently planning to visit El Salvador. I mean, what's his plan? Do you know?
Well, I don't know if Cory Booker is going to be visiting El Salvador. I don't have information on that.
Okay.
But I do know that the senator from Maryland, which is right next to me here in Washington, D.C., went there and he went to see. He tried to get access, and he did see Kilmar. He did see Abrego Garcia, and they phonied the El Salvador officials put up some phony pictures looking like they were sitting back having some nice margaritas. They imposed some salt and some bar fruit on the glass, and he said it's absolutely not true. They never did a bit of drinking, and this is a typical business deal for Trump. He does not he's not happy unless he's in the middle of the controversy, and that's what he's going through. But I got to tell you, if he makes it, the Republicans will be out in 2026, and there'll be a big change on the home front.
How much awareness do you think there is from your kind of average American that this is going on?
I'm sorry, just say that again.
So in terms of your average American citizen, are they aware that these deportations are taking place? Excellent.
It depends how much they watch the news and if they read and if they listen. Donald Trump's immigration policy, by the way, is generally very popular with many Americans. And that's what's keeping him going. He's supposed to be strong on the border, strong on the wall. Meantime, we don't even get into the tariffs and what that's doing to our economy. But half of the Americans want all illegal immigrants deported. However, until you really learn about the details, for example, they do not support deporting people who are law-abiding, who live by the rules, who report every week, every month, whatever it is, and are a service to the community, and they pay taxes. And Trump is punishing and pushing the envelope of his presidential power on every aspect of his presidency, and immigration seems to be his gold standard, meeting up with his gold. I don't know if you've seen the Oval Office yet, but it looks like it's absurd. It's all guilt. It's very gauche indeed.
It doesn't sound ideally how I would like something decorated. But
it's not like number 10, and I've been there.
Okay. Thank you, Jon-Christopher Bua, U.S. political analyst and White House correspondent for Real Political News. A text has come into the studio while we've been speaking saying you cannot compare a concentration camp to prisoners in El Salvador. And then they say they're in prison for a reason. If you're going to listen to the show, I appreciate you might be doing other things. You might be cooking your dinner. You might be having a drink. You might be talking to someone. But if you're going to text into the show, please listen. They're not in prison for a reason. I mean, even if they were, we're talking about overcrowded, have their heads forcibly shaved, are locked up for 23 and a half hours a day and only allowed half an hour for exercise. That's an inhumane environment in which to keep anyone, regardless of whether they're a criminal or not. But the whole point of that whole segment is that they haven't done anything other than participate in peaceful protest, co-write an op-ed in their student newspaper, or had a lie made up about them about being a gang member. Please pay attention. So I really think that this is how fascism happens. It's half people being evil and then half other people not paying attention. Michael has called from New Cross. What would you like to say?